Hey guys, come on in. How do you? Hey guys, come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. I got my new big old glasses on. So come on in. Come on in. Come on in, guys. So happy Friday. Today is Freedom Friday. So I'm going live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Money Monday, Winning Wednesday, and Freedom Friday. Okay, 9 a.m. And we talk for about 20 minutes. Come with your questions. If you are in the school app, make sure you are answering those questions. And the goal is to keep our mind stayed on wealth building. Okay. The goal is to keep our minds stayed on building wealth. Okay. That is the goal. All right. To focus on wealth building and focus on getting ourselves ahead. Right. And this week we focused on stewardship. Right. We focusing on stewardship. Last week we focused on saving. How can we start saving to build wealth? Right. So if you guys are new to my channel, welcome. Share this with the last 5 people that you text. Leave a comment. Let me know where you guys are coming in from. Let me know, if you guys have a business, if you start a business, if you're looking to start a business. And this week we're focusing on stewardship, right? So I have been a coach for over a decade. Like I've coached a lot of people. I've coached principals, children, parents, people online, my family members, my children. So the work that I do is very, very key, right? I literally help people start to think differently about their money. I help people to start thinking differently of where they need to go and what they need to do, right? One thing about one thing I learned in over a decade of doing business is that we need money, right? We need money every single day. We need money from the day we born to the day we die, and we need money every day in between, right? So we got to build this relationship with something that we need every single day, right? We don't pay our bills with our looks, right? We don't go to work because we feel like it, right? We go to work because we have to. We got bills, we got things to take care of, we got our kids to take care of, right? We got our spouses or whatever we need to take care of, right? So we got to understand, building a relationship with money. And in the Bible, there's over 2,500 scriptures that focuses on wealth building, making money, success, stewardship. So as a people, right, we should really start to understand how some of these things work, right? So most people just go to work, get a paycheck, come home. Go to work, get a paycheck, come home. Go to work, get a paycheck, come home, right? And oftentimes people are in the rat race, right? People are in the rat race. And unfortunately, when you're racing against time, we never win, right? We never win when we are racing against time, right? Because time and money is two commodities, right? You can always make more money, but you can't get more time back, right? So we're always racing against time. So if we're living check to check, right? Some people got paid today. And guess what? They got paid this morning and they're going to be broke tonight, right? And it's a cycle. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't know how to break that cycle, right? So they continue the cycle, then they teach their kids the cycle, then their grandkids, right? Great grandkids, and then everybody seemed to not get ahead, right? So one thing I learned is that we got to know how to steward. Okay, we have to know how to steward our money. Okay, steward our money. What does that mean? We have to understand, right, that money is an energy, right? Money is an energy, okay? And we got to be able to build a relationship with it, right? Just like, a regular relationship. If you're in a marriage, or if you got a girlfriend, or if you got a boyfriend, and you're trying to build a relationship with them, right? You got to be around them. You got to want to be around them. You got to want to see them. You got to treat them right. You got to buy them things. You got to go places with them. You got to tell them you love them. You got to, all this stuff to build a relationship. So it's the same thing with money, right? It's the same thing with money. How do we build this relationship with money where we're not scared to talk about money to our family? We're not scared to talk about money to our children. We're not scared to talk about money at the dinner table. Right. So unfortunately, I didn't grow up with my mom and dad talking about money like they did. My mom said she was always broke. My dad said save money for a rainy day. And my grandmother said cut up all your credit cards. That was all the financial literacy that I've got growing up. So I didn't get nothing else. They didn't talk about credit, did nothing else. Right. So as an adult, I had to realize that money is important, right? Saving money is important. Having an emergency fund is important. Investing is important. Having multiple streams of income is important. Passive income is important. Saving for retirement and investing for retirement is important, right? So all of these things, right? And the reason that financial literacy was not taught in school is because money gives us power. Money gives us power. Okay. Money gives us power. And when you have power, guess what? You also have options. Right? When you have power, we have options, right? And when you have money, you feel like you could breathe, right? Because a lot of people right now feel like they can't breathe because they don't have money or they don't have enough money, right? People in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, right? They never achieve any type of financial independence. It's like, at what point do you start to achieve financial independence? And, unfortunately, the internet makes it seem like, oh, we can, just, become rich overnight, right? But that's not the truth, right? It's not the truth, right? You don't become rich overnight. Your mindset can become rich overnight, but your bank account, it takes time for your bank account to catch up, right? So we got to understand certain things, right? We got to understand, how money works, how money moves, and then how we move with money. It's not just when we get, a tax refund check, right? No, right? We want to have money all the time, right? So I teach people, right, about saving, right? You save money now so money could save you later, right? And this is also stewardship, right? You save money now, today. $100. You got a bank account. If you don't have a bank account, I have a way in my school app for you guys to download a bank account with high yield checking and high yield savings. And you guys can start saving money in a high yield checking or savings account and get some interest on your money. So we got to save money now so money could save us later. Right? And we want to have money for the sake of having money. I want to have money every day, every hour, every week, every month, every year. I want to have money. I never want to be able to say, or I never want to say to my children, say to myself, I don't have any money. I don't, right? I don't, right? Because God is abundant, right? And God, right, has unlimited money and unlimited everything that we need. So if we're following principles that God has set for us, then we have unlimited money. Right? And then you got to have an emergency fund, right? So there's always going to be something that happens, your car break down, something happens in the house, something happens at your job, something happens, to your child, anything can happen, guys. The thing about life, life will life. Okay? Life will life, and we can't get away from that. Right? We can't get away from that. So we need money. Again, we need money from the day we born to the day we die, and every day in between, we need money. Hey guys, when you come on, let me know where you coming in from, and share this with at least the last 5 people that you text. Okay, the last 5 people that you text. So we need money from the day we born to the day we die, and every day in between. So we need to save money now so money can save us later. We need an emergency fund because life be lifing, right? And we don't know what's going to happen. No one can predict. If we all can predict where we're going to be next year, or where we're going to be in 5 years or in 10 years, right? We wouldn't be here, because we'll be doing what we already said we were going to do, right? So we need these things in place, okay? Then you got to know how to budget, right? I tell people, become your own financial advisor. Start looking at your bank statements, right? 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and start seeing what's coming out, what you need to eliminate. You may need to eliminate some bills so you can have some money so you can save, right? I know people making 6 figures living check to check. $200,000-$300,000, and they live in check to check because they spend. I have a friend who's a dentist. She just spins and spins and spins. Every time I turn around, she's going somewhere. I'm like, sis, you're never gonna invest no money? Like, you're never going to invest no money? Oh no. Right? But it's all boils down to financial literacy, right? And again, we didn't have that, right? So you gotta save money. You got to invest money. You got to save. You got to have an emergency fund. You got to know how to budget, right? And then you got to invest, right? So it's like you got to save money for the sake of having money, right? That's why you got to pay attention to your money, because you got to be able to save some money. You got to put money up for a rainy day. You got to know how to budget your money. And then you got to know how to invest. If you're going to Walmart today, if you're shopping on Amazon, if you're watching from an Apple iPhone, an Apple Watch, an Apple iPad, you should be investing in these same companies that you already investing in. If you go into Walmart, Walmart has a stock. Walmart stock right now is over $100. When I first started investing in Walmart stock, it was $60. And this was 2 years ago. Now Walmart stock is over $100. Right? Amazon stock 2-3 years ago, it was $125. Now Amazon stock is going to $300. Apple, right, at one point was $100. Apple stock is over $230 right now, right? So we got to get into this, right? We got to get into, right, stewardship, right? Understanding what we need to do with our money. Hey, Kay from VA. We got to get our mind right and wrapped around making money, saving money, and always having money, right? I don't want to be the person that never have, right? They said the average person, guys, don't have $500 to their name. The average person doesn't have $500 to their name. The average person doesn't have $500. The average person that works a job every day, they go to work 5 days a week, 4 days a week, 7 days a week, and they don't have $500 for an emergency. That don't even make any sense to me, right? Especially if you got a cell phone, an Apple phone that costs $1,000. Especially when you got a closet full of wigs and belts and bags and shoes, right? So to me, it's not that they don't have the money. They just not stewarding their money correctly, right? So you got to save for the sake of saving. If you don't have a high yield checking account, make sure you download my school app. I have a free PDF that you guys can download so you can start focusing on what you need to focus on, for your money. Okay. Then you can download the app, for the high yield checking and savings account so you can start saving your money and getting some interest on your money. And it's also a brokerage account. Okay, it's also a brokerage account where you can now start investing, and it gives you $25 so you can start investing. So if you got Apple, start buying Apple. Amazon, start buying Amazon if you shop there, right? Walmart, start buying Walmart stock, right? If you don't have any Bitcoin, you can buy the Bitcoin stock. I wish I would have known about investing years and years ago, right? When I first started my business, right? But I didn't really start investing until 2019, right? Well, 2018, right? I can have way more money now if I would have started earlier. That's why if you guys have children, right? Your children, you should be buying a stock for their birthday. You should be buying a stock for Christmas. You should be buying a stock every time you turn around, right? Because we're buying $200-$300 sneakers for them. We're spending $2, $3, $4, $5,000 on parties, right? When again, we need money from the day we born to the day we die and every day in between. And that is every single person on the planet. Of course, more people got, some people got more money than others, but we all need money, right? Money is one of my love languages, right? Me and my husband talk about money all the time, right? Because I'm not interested in being broke. I'm not interested in having a broke husband. I'm not interested in being a broke wife, right? So when you guys come share this with 5 people, the last 5 people you text, make sure you like this and share this. So saving, emergency fund, budgeting, investing, and then having passive income, whether it's a business, whether you have real estate, whether you got some Bitcoin, whether you got some silver or gold that can bring you in money that you don't have to work for. And if every dollar, guys, that you had to work for, you had to work hard for, you will never achieve any type of freedom. If every dollar that you got in your bank account, every dollar that you got under your mattress, you had to work hard for, you will never achieve any freedom, right? So in my school app, I have a training on Amazon on how to become an Amazon affiliate, how you can sell Amazon products